right, that is one solid piece of aluminum. Now it's a clean piece of aluminum. On this guy. Switch. I opened these switches up and no gold. Not sure if it's silver contacts or not. There is gold connectors in the network switch. A little toroid in there, some copper wire. Get that later. And then brass in the plug. that is a clean piece of extruded. If you've ever done any of these ballasts, or digital ballasts for these, some brands that put a tar to cover all of their board. I'm assuming that's to try and waterproof it, corrosion resistance, whatever. Makes it a real pain to scrap those. I've put them out in the sunshine and let them get real hot, and then remove the tar that away. But nothing that's sell to like Board Sort or the other companies. They're not going to buy it because it's covered in tar. So you got three little brass spacers. Come out of that. And then another really heavy piece of extruded aluminum. We'll weigh this up later. Some wire and some ferrite. So on this board, once you pull it out of the aluminum heat sink, you flip it over, and you've got 5 smaller MOSFETs and 2 larger ones. Bucket. Now the rest of the board is just loaded with transformers, 2 big capacitors, copper everywhere. Got some IC chips, a whole lot of MLCCs on this like daughter board here, and then you've got more ICs, a lot of MLCCs, quite a few MLCCs. I don't believe places like Board Sort will buy these. I mean, after you remove all the copper from the toroids, the relays, the transformers, there's not a whole lot left but MLCCs on this thing. So this will go in my pile, and I'll depopulate and save these for later. There's a couple of fuses in here. Really nice boards. I mean, they're, you know, because they're not covered in tar, I really like them. So depending on how micro scrappy you get. So what I do with the larger capacitors is I'll pull these off, I'll empty everything, and then I melt the aluminum down into bars. So I try not to let anything go to waste. Try to reduce as much of this stuff going to the landfill as possible. So if I hadn't picked these up, this is exactly where these would have been going. You know, I'm in Humboldt County, which is cannabis capital of the world, or was at one time. Now we have a whole lot of abandoned grow businesses that have gone out of business, that have basically just left their mess behind, and these lights and greenhouses and stuff are part of their mess. So I go around and I offer my services for free to take this stuff off of people's land. It's done pretty good so far for me. I've got a lot of stuff. I'm not rich, but I've gotten a lot of stuff out of it. And I've kept tons of this kind of stuff out of landfills, and that's my ultimate goal, is to try and help reduce our carbon footprint in this world. So that's the teardown, and I will get the scale and we will weigh up the aluminum. Alright, so we tear it out. And we are so each light comes in at 3.8. Here, I'll go back to pounds. My bad. Almost 8.5 pounds of aluminum per light. They're pretty heavy, and they are built. And just out of curiosity, the board itself is 2.8 pounds, so there's probably a good minimum of a pound of copper out of it. All right, so that's the teardown on the Gavita Pro 1000E. I hope you liked the video. On to the next one.